Alright, time to get back on to making my tools here. It's been about a week since I've touched this thing. So, I know I got to re-true up the taper here. Looks like I was going to play with my bits a little bit for whatever reason. And I got to smooth up the surface on this. And then hone it with the hones here. Either this one or this one, depending on which one works the best for size. And make it a nice smooth surface so it'll fit through the bushing here without destroying the hole. Actually, it comes off the ball bearing. It goes over that, not the bushing, but if the bushing fits, the ball bearing, or not the ball bearing, the roller bearing will work. Torrington needle bearing. So that's where I'm at. I spent all week doing other stuff, so we've been working the 45 cylinders a little bit down there last couple Saturdays. But mainly just answering phone calls, calling people back, helping customers, putting parts away, wasting time, talking to customers for hours on end. Normal crap I do that don't work. Returning comments on YouTube. I don't know why people do that, but oh well. So all that cuts into me getting me work done. So, oh well. Time to get back to get some work done. Alright, so first thing I need to do, I need to get this taper cleared up. So I'm going to pull this out. This is still tight, so we're good to go on that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, somebody wanted me to hold this so with copper sheeting around the reamer so you can chuck on the flutes right here, not damage the carbide. Well, the problem with that is the flutes have to equal your jaws. In this case it does, there's 6. 7 is more common though. The other problem is the surface is actually undercut, so there's no straight area to just grab a hold of. And third thing is, if you put any pressure on this outside edge of this carbide right here, it will chip it. So that's why you can't go on those surfaces. So that's why we come off the center like we did. So there you go. Nice plan, but nope, don't work. And I did clean my lathe out for all you dumbasses that pick on me not cleaning my stuff. See, there's no more chips back there, just real small crap. I did not clean that part though. I didn't feel like scraping my fingers up with chips. Alright, let's see where we're at here today. First thing to do is clean tools a little bit. There we go. Now we need some kind of a bit to use. Appears everything's nice and dirty. So first thing I do is clean all your cutting edges off, tools, so they can be re-put back in the holder without chips under everything. That's my chip breaker that never works. This is the carbide tip that we were using. That's pretty well used up more than once, but still usable because I keep reusing it. This is the side we're using right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of dulled out a little bit. Needs to be sharpened again. One more time. Okay, we're going to go over here and pick some other bit out over here. Insert, as they really are called. Let's see what these gold ones, how they look here. Alright, it looks like it might even have a halfway sharp edge on it. Sometimes that's debatable. This one's been chipped off, so it's nice and sharp. Ooh, that's like brand new right there. This side has not been used yet. So you can insert with a broken edge, a worn out edge, and a new edge. Good. I think we're going to overuse this worn out edge. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this up a little bit. So it looks like it needs to be sharpened. And we're going to sharpen this one here too while we're at it, just for the hell of it, because I want to make sure it's sharp. So I'm going to go over here to our grinder, which is right there. Do a little sharpening. So this is a diamond dresser, otherwise known as a diamond grinder. That means these wheels have diamonds on them. So we're going to go ahead and just... Diamond's the only thing that really sharpens carbide. So I just go on here and roll it around in a radius by hand, and that's how I sharpen stuff. First thing to do is do the flat part. Make sure where you're grinding is halfway decent. So obviously I'm putting more angle into this because it's grinding on the bottom, not the top. We need to grind it a little bit until it comes across the surface here. If it's still shiny over here, that means it's dull. It needs to be cut more. So now that surface is starting to come in a little bit, but needs a little more. That side looks alright. I don't know if you can see exactly what I'm looking at there, but still see the chips on the side of it. We got two little nicks right there. Alright, looks like the nicks are gone. So now we go to the next surface, do the same thing. That looks pretty good. One more shot just to make sure. Alright, we go to the third surface. It's not grinding this whole side here. Big nick there I don't care about. Cut the surface halfway close. Okay, so now we get our sides all done. Now we just go ahead and radius this on. We're going to get that sharp edge, or dull edge right there has to go away. And this big chip over here. So it starts to look sharp. It'll cut again. Kind of. Take a little nick right there, right on the edge. We kiss it. And that one's gone. Go to the next one. Look how dull that one is. And if the camera's letting you see that or not. You can hear it as you go around, it changes. Means we'll cut a lot of high spots down there. So it's still dull right there, so we need to go more. Still dull. Getting there. Go back on the flat. Knock off the spot that didn't get cleaned originally there. See how it's pretty dull through there. Definitely not the best of condition. A little better. Now, if you grind too much off, you won't be able to use it anymore, but we don't know what that point is, so we just keep grinding it until it cleans up. So that does not want to clean right there. Getting warm too. It's pretty bad. It's starting to come in just a little bit. When the sun gets hot, you put it on the plate. Okay, so that's almost got it ground down. So we'll come over here, you can see what I'm doing a little bit. I'm pushing more on this side than that side, so I'm actually changing the angle of the triangle, but oh well. I think we got most of it that time. Now I'm going to do the radius right here. Can't tell from that angle if I got it or not. Let's see, back up to here where I can see better. Yeah, it's a little nick right there where my thumb is, still a little dead area. You're looking for a little dull spot. Dull spot is usually it's not cutting. Nail won't cut. That side looks decent. You can also feel it with your finger if it doesn't feel good on your nail. If it digs in, it's probably not very good. See, there's a big chip right there, but I'm not grinding that out. It'll just have to be there. There's another chip right next to it too. So this will just cut with pressure. It'll cut. Whether it's good or not, it'll cut. Okay, I'm going to switch over to our other one here, and you see I got different angles have been ground on that side. Let's see what we get this time. Okay, you see how the surface is coming in now. This side here has never even been used yet. There we go. Go to the other side. Hot. It's still a little dull through here. See, it's dull through here, so I know it's not grinding there yet. There we go. Yeah, it's still a little dull right there. Now, is that coating that's still left, or is it actually dull? If you can see a radius on your edge up there, you know it's dull. Looking pretty sharp. So now the radius is dull, you can see a little ship in there, so we're going to shorten that out. Go. It's nice and sharp now. This side looks good. This side here is all broken. I haven't ground this edge here yet, so we're going to grind it now. So that never been ground there before, so you can see my angle's pretty even on my table now. I've still never used this corner here yet. I keep grinding it sharper. It's going to be a point pretty soon, and I'll be able to cut sharp corners. Alright, so this is dull in here. Decent amount of radius there. Alright, that'll cut now. Here we go. That's how you sharpen your carbide bits. So that's 10 bucks I don't have to buy now. Times 2. That's 20 bucks I saved. And I've done that probably 50 times on these already, I bet. Save lots of money by grinding my bits. So you can keep grinding those until your holder won't hold them no more. So if you notice, the holder's all broken away here, or it's chipped off. So there you go. So that's the one we just ground. So as long as it's below, this is above what this is, it'll keep cutting. Now this one over here, I did a bunch of sharpening on. At some point they become too short, and this one's about right at the limit. See, right now if you were to cut on the side right here, there's a lip. It actually, this sticks out more than the bit does, so it might cut or it might rub right here. It's too small at this point. But it'll still cut on the tip, because the tip sticks out more than the nose here, because it's all worn off. So I can still use this one more time, but that's about it. It's pretty small. It's a lot smaller than a new one. So these ones over here are basically about new. That's how big they start. And see, that's how much is missing off of it. See, we've ground about that much off already. About 30 thou at least. So that's what happens when they get too small, you can't use them anymore. So I keep my new ones on this end and my crappy ones here and the junk ones over here. So if I really need something crappy, I'll go over here and grab a real crappy one over here and start wailing on those. That's where this one came from. So this is a good one now, so I'm going to put it over here. But it's got large radiuses, so it's almost done. So I'm going to stick it right there, so I know where it's at. And of course they drop down on there from vibration and they get all mixed up again. Okay, so we're going to use this one here. I'm going to use this radiused edge. Chip breaker goes on top. That never seems to work. And this one won't fit in there because it's too tall. There we go. So you hold it in on your tip and you tighten the wrench up. Easy, you got two hands to do this kind of work, but whatever. We make it with one around here. That when I cut my hand off one day, I'll still be able to do my work because I get a lot of practice using one hand. So you can still do stuff in there. Don't have all your parts. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. I got to turn this back to 30 degrees, which is over here. Wrong side. No, that was the right side. Wrong wrench. That's American. I don't know why that's up there. Metric. Good old American lathe. Metric. Otherwise known as metric my ass. Or American. American my ass. Wrong word. Okay, so mark it. There you go. When we got this lathe, it was not even marked here. They left that mark out. They had all these nice marks, but there's no mark on this. Great plan. Quality lathe. That's the jet. So back in the day, when you got bought Taiwan, you bought junk. Now you got buy Pakistan or India quality stuff to be that bad these days. Just wait until Indonesia kicks in the market and start making stuff. Low man on the totem pole. Okay, so mosquito flying around. So this is your edge here. This has to be more angled than what this is to cut. Because when you move this back here, if you don't have this angle different, it will dig in. So we're going to cut on the wrong side, which means I'll probably put this thing in the wrong spot, but we'll see. See how much travel we have. See when this hole uncovers, we ain't got much more to go. See, I can't cut that, I'm not far enough over, so I need to loosen this up and slide it that way. Now I have more room. Some dumbass didn't do it right. Wonder who that was. Oh yeah, we're still good. Now we have enough room to get in here. The next problem is we're way too low. So I need to raise my tip up a little bit. So your cutting edge needs to be on center, which means it needs to be in the center of that flat spot right there. And we're on the bottom edge right now. So we're about a 1/16 of an inch low, or a 50th thou low, something like that. So I need to kick it up a little bit. So with my old style tools here, I just kick it up a little bit. Because it's on the radius. And bring her on up. And so I'm going to go a little bit more than that. Some people pick on my old tools here, but like most things around here, they're old, but they still work. Okay, I am a little bit on the high side on my tangent line now. So see how the scale is leaning toward this way? That means I'm too high. If it goes the other way, I was too low. If it's straight up and down, it's perfect. So this is how you set your bits. Even new tooling, you have to set your bit height. Just they do it with shims or screws or some other way of doing things. Now everybody says I need to get rid of this old design stuff because it's not very strong, very flexible. You go, you know, you're right. But also this lathe is a piece of crap. It's very flexible too, so it makes no difference if the tooling doesn't flex. Everything else would anyway, so it makes no difference. Gotta know what you're working on. Alright, so you can see that we are still just a touch on the high side because it's not vertical. So the scale is also slightly tweaked, but you look down here, it's not vertical yet. So you can be a little bit high or you can be a little bit low on this stuff when you do it. It's up to you. Each one does a different thing. Really hard. Okay, so now it's almost perfectly straight up and down. Pretty close. So that means we're set pretty high. I mean, we're pretty close, I should say. Okay, pull that out. Over there. Okay, we're going to cut on the back side. So you make sure you got enough room here to move back on this. And you gotta make sure you got there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back up a little bit. I crank this one in a little bit to bring it out further. Because this machine is tighter right here. You get over here, it gets real loose. The taper, these are dovetail. I don't know if you can see dovetail. These are dovetails, and you got this angle like this. And that's they're not cut very evenly. The original quality of this piece of equipment is not too good. It's on par with buying a worn out piece of crap American tool. If you don't want to hear those gears spin, disconnect them. Okay, so now you can run this thing in until it touches. Let me crank this one here out. See a nice new mark there. Try not to stop. You can see I didn't cut the rest of the material out there. So I'm going to crank this in a few more thou. And start cranking this one back so you can see where we're at on height here. Okay, now we're cutting the material. So you want to use a nice steady speed here. digging in. Cut this here further in this way. There we go. See, I touch it when it turns. My brake. This is the brake. Called me grabbing a chuck. Very safe. Yeah. Okay, so now I got a nice clean surface, and it's now concentric to the chuck because we just cut it by spinning it. Pretty good. Now this side over here is concentric because you can adjust the dovetail. See the dovetail in here? You can adjust with these screws. There's one on this side and one over here. Right there my finger is. The end there. And that adjusts this thing this way. And you adjust that until these match up and it cuts straight. That's how you center up a lathe. It takes a while. But once you get it set, it stays pretty close. Even a piece of crap like this will repeat pretty closely. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this back over here, the side we need it to be on. Bring this back a little bit to where I like it. This back over. Turn at the angle we're going to cut out now. Put it back in. And we got to see how close we are to center. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it back in. A bunch of lock tabs and lock stuff. It's a locking handle, this is a locking handle here. Takes all your clearance out, locks things in, so makes it more even. Okay, so now we're going to go back over here and do our same center check again. See if it's repeating or dropped. It dropped. So you can see how low we are on this side a bit. See, we went from one side to the other side. See how much lower it got? So now we got to raise this thing way up. Because we're on a different cutting surface now. And we twist all this around, things move. Just go back and forth a couple times until you get what you need. See, right now we're a little bit on the low side, but we're close. Now if we're cutting really hard material, you want to be a little bit negative on your clearance, that's low. If you're cutting like aluminum or soft material, you want to be positive, you want to be high. So the lower you are, it's cutting in more rubs, the higher you are, the more it cuts. Changes the pressure on your cutting edge. This is really, really hard over here, we need to be negative over here, but the rest of it we want to be neutral to try to get a good finish. And it's a nice sharp bit, so when it dulls out, it'll turn negative on its own. So I'm going to jack it up a little bit more. And there you go. We're nice and centered up now, see? Okay, now we can go ahead and do a little cut, see what we got. So first thing I'm going to do is figure out how much material we got to work with here. So I need to be a little bit, I need about 5 thou less than this at least. So we're about 687, so we need about 682 minimum. Let's see what I used over here. Did I get it more closer than 682, or is that about where we're at? Looks like we're 685. We were cutting it pretty close. 683 right here. 686. 685. So bearings are 11/16, which is probably 87. 7/16 is 87, see right there. So you need to be at least, bare minimum, you need 1 thou less than this number here in order to go through a bearing without having issues. That'll give you 1 thou clearance. So if we had this at 85, we'd be 2.5 thou clearance. That'd be tight. If you went down to 82.5, that'd be 5 thou. That'd be pretty sloppy. It'd go in real easy. But that'd allow you to be off center slightly, but in this much distance, 5 thou ain't nothing. So you can just do what you want. Okay, so let's see what we got over here for size. For now, we are at 710. So when we get to 687, we got 13 thou plus 10. It's 23 thousandths. Get our mic out. Mics are more accurate than calipers. So there's our 10. So now we're going to go down to 0, 95, 90, 85 would work. So I'm going to stop above that number and I'm going to hone, depending on how good the surface is. I'm going to go for 90 to begin with. That'll leave me 3 to 4 thou to hone off. If it's really rough like this, that'll come off quick, but we'll have to see. So we're going to see what kind of finish we're going to get here. Only one way to find out is to do it. Alright, be back in a minute.